Hey everyone, welcome to Sunday Night Soul Time for this December 8th, 2019. The end of the year is upon us. And it's a really powerful time of year for most of us, no matter what holiday you celebrate, which is why I wanted to introduce a really important topic tonight, and that is grace. You know, last time we talked a lot about gratitude, and a lot of times there's a lot of confusion about the difference between gratitude and grace. And so I would say grace is a state of being. And when you employ it, and when you have it within your life, everything simply becomes easier. I mean, this is the ultimate answer to alleviating your stress, your worry, your fear, and doubt. Because when you are in grace, you are in a form of conscious surrender. You are allowing something to move through you that is bigger than you. You are trusting. And so I want to do something I haven't done before. I actually want to read to you something I wrote about grace from my book, Dare to Believe, that will hopefully paint a picture for you of what grace really is and how it can work in your own life. Okay, so here goes. It reads, State of Grace. Divine grace is always there, whether or not you realize it. The degree to which it encompasses your reality is in part up to you. The more you invite grace in, the stronger its presence becomes in your world. When you consciously choose to see grace all around you, your experience and interaction with the world will start to change. And when you start living in the full reality of grace, you will have an overwhelming sense of alignment. Everything you perceive will be in order. Your days will be a stream of miracle witnessing. It will become the constant state that you live in rather than a rare occurrence. When you live in grace, you know that everything is working for you. You marvel at the divine order and synchronicity of not only everything around you, but also the beyond at play that you can't necessarily see. In grace, you know that your inner and outer purposes are aligned with the divine conspiring together. When you are living in grace, your worries about not getting what you want slip away because these worries are no longer being used as a crutch. And so look, and I wanted to read that to you because it is such an important time right now, and it's such a stressful one for many of us. All of a sudden, work feels more stressful as you're really trying to wrap up the year. We've got family stuff, we've got everything on. And so what I want to introduce to you tonight is just the idea of grace and using this to make your days easier, a little less stressful, a little more in the flow. And so it might be one of the more, I'm going to call it esoteric topics we've talked about, but it's really about choosing to live and be in a feeling of trust. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's really about choosing to be and living in like a perpetual state of surrender. And that's really challenging, right? I always say, you teach what you most need to learn, which is like why I wrote a book about fear, you know, and kind of like the antithesis of grace and surrender, right? But that's why I want to introduce you 3 really simple practices, right? Because it's one thing, you know, to conceptually get and understand like what it feels like to be in grace, but it's a whole other thing to get there. And so these 3 practices will really be helpful for you to encompass this, I'm going to call it energy, this state of being, this way of being, this way of approaching your day tomorrow at work, this way of approaching time with your family, this way of approaching your colleagues, an important meeting you have, that whole life thing, right? For me, I need the actions that will help me get you there. So here are 3 of them. One of them we talked about last week. The first practice to invite in and start living in the beingness of grace is gratitude, okay? And it's probably the strongest and one of the most powerful ways to really just invite this energy into your life. We talked about different practices of gratitude that you can employ. If you haven't watched the last Sunday Night Soul Time, I suggest you do so. But really making a daily practice of gratitude, and I outlined a bunch of different ways you can do that last time, is really an important way to start living in grace. And you want to know why? Because when you start to just notice everything that's happening for you, which is in essence what gratitude is, you start to perceive the world differently, right? And again, all of this is about you mastering your perception. When you shift your perception, you can enter into a new state of being and experiencing the world. The second practice is what I call miracle witnessing. This can be like 5 minutes a day. And nature's a really good one for this, okay? Like nature is the easiest one, but there's many other ways you can do this, where you just sit and you like spend 5 minutes. It can be just looking at a tree outside of your window. You know what? It can be a plant in your apartment, okay? But you just kind of sit there and be one with nature and witness like the miracle of nature, how everything is always regrowing, replenishing yourself, like the innate abundance that is inherent in nature, right? And just like witnessing, you can witness the miracle of your body, quite frankly. That's another one too. Just like, oh my God, my body's doing all these amazing things for me all the time without having to think. Another one is really like with your loved ones, with your kids, spending 5 minutes just marveling like at the miracle of, you know, having created these incredible beings that you love, right? So anything that you can do throughout the day to consciously practice miracle witnessing, I swear, if you keep this one up, you're going to get in states at times where it just starts to happen naturally for you, where you're just like witnessing miracles all the time around you and seeing that everything is always working in this miraculous flow that supports you. But to start, it's making it a conscious practice, right? The third one, this is the most challenging one, especially when it comes to like work and stuff like that, is seeing the love that is inherent in everything, especially other people. So I always said, you know, I now live in California. As most of you know, I lived in New York City for the last 13 years. And I'd always say my spiritual condition is, I can always tell the temperature of my spiritual condition when I walk out on the street, you know, walk down the sidewalk. And if I'm annoyed and frustrated and irritated by everyone and, you know, how they're getting in my way, or if I'm seeing myself. If I'm seeing myself in inherent love, seeing the oneness, feeling the oneness in everyone, every stranger I meet. So this is a really powerful practice. And it's not just to people, you know, animals is an easy one. Again, you can use nature, but really like taking time throughout the day to look around, look at everything around you and see yourself in it, right? See the inherent oneness, see the love that is present in everything, even in the tough people, even in the tough people. And when you're able to shift your perception into seeing the good before the bad and seeing yourself, right? Breaking down barriers of separation, breaking down the illusion of separation, instead seeing your inherent oneness and commonness, you know, and shared unity with everyone and everything. That is another way to really invoke living in a state of grace. Okay? So those are our 3 practices. Now let's meditate. So go ahead and make sure you're somewhere comfortable. If you're not, pause this video and you can restart it. So let's go ahead by joining me in closing your eyes. And let's start together by taking 3 long, deep breaths as you breathe in and release. Breathe in again and release. Breathe in again and release. And the intention that I'm going to set for this meditation together is that it helps each of us live in a greater state of grace. And so just start to imagine that you're letting go of any stress you're holding in any aspect of your body. Relax your head, your neck, your shoulders. Relax your chest, your back, your hips, your knees. Just unwind and unlock everything now. And imagine with me that there's a beautiful light, glowing white light in the center of the earth. And just pretend with me and imagine with me that this light can heal anything. And so we're going to invite this light up. And as we do, offer up anything you would like to release, anything you would like to heal. And we're going to ask that this light help you live in a greater state of grace by removing any blocks and barriers to you experiencing the world through a higher state of consciousness and well-being. As you imagine this light traveling up through all the layers of the earth, rising up and up and up. And this light starts to enter in through the bottom of your feet, clearing, cleansing, opening and uplifting. And the light comes through your feet, your toes, your ankles, your calves and your knees, your thighs, your hips, your pelvis, your lower abdomen, your back, your heart center, your upper back, upper abdomen and chest, your shoulders. Feel the light in your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, your hands. And the light goes up through your throat and neck, traveling into the base of your neck, your ears, your head, your face, swirling around in your mind, releasing any negative thinking. And this beautiful light goes out the top of your head, and it travels up, 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 higher than you can imagine, where the light meets the great golden ball of light, the great central sun. Imagine a huge ball of light, like 100 times the size of our sun. And again, we're going to ask this light to travel down and help you step into a greater alignment with grace as the light flows down and into the top of your head, your face, your neck, your throat, your shoulders, your arms, your chest and upper back, your entire abdomen, heart, lower abdomen, pelvis, hips, thighs, knees, calves, and feet. And the light goes down to the center of the earth and it bounces back up. And it comes all the way back up and it lands within your heart center. And now we're going to expand the light around you. But first, removing any barriers or walls that are around your heart that are preventing you from experiencing greater grace in your life. And so I want you to imagine that there's a door on the left side of your heart, the right side, below and above, and the front and back. And when I count to 3, you're going to give permission for these doors to open and dissolve permanently and completely as the light will start to expand around you 360 degrees. And so on my count, you're going to open these doors and release them permanently. 1, 2, 3. Feel these doors dissolving completely, the light bursting out of your heart center and expanding and flowing all around you 360 degrees. As the light now expands to cover the entire room you're in, the entire home you're in, the entire city you're in, the entire state you're in, the entire country you're in, and the entire globe. Feel how infinite you are. Feel your oneness. Feel the truth of who you really are. And now I want you to imagine that you find yourself on a beautiful pathway, on a cliff overlooking the ocean. And find with you that there's someone by your side, perhaps a guide, perhaps a loved one, that is here now to help you know and experience what it means to live in greater grace. And with this guide, family member, loved one by your side, you walk along this path until you come upon 2 golden doors. You look at them as you also take in the entire landscape, ocean crashing on rocks below, beautiful salty air, birds calling overhead, a strong breeze blowing all around you. You feel safe, you feel comforted, you feel warm. You feel ready to shift your consciousness and to open yourself up to a way to be happier. And knowing that that pathway and that key and that clue for you is to invite in more grace into your life. To invite in more grace into your life. And so with your guide by your side, he or she gently urges you to open the first door and to walk through. Which you do, you walk up to the door, you gently turn on the knob, you open the door and walk in, and you're shown what your life can look like when you're living in a higher degree of grace. Take this in now. What are you doing? How do you feel? Are there specific changes that occur as a result in your life? Just take in what it feels like when you're living in the energy of grace. Maybe you treat someone differently. Maybe a relationship is different. And so you ask, well, what is one thing I can do right now? What's one action I can take to step into living in this reality, in the reality of grace? And your guide, who's by your side, shares with you one thing you can do, one action you can take right now to start living in the energy of grace. So receive this information now. Maybe it's just a habit or something different. Maybe it is more gratitude. Maybe it is more meditation, but receive what it is. And then your guide hands a gift to you. And this gift is actually a glowing ball of light And it's actually the energy and consistency of grace. You take this light and you fold it into your heart, and as you do, you feel yourself being infused with the energy of grace, the frequency of grace, the quality of grace. Let yourself receive this and just lift up and up and up and up. Allow yourself to really receive, be, and encompass this quality now. You now turn and leave this beautiful room with new clues and insights about you and your relationship to grace. You come back out, the clouds gently moving overhead, feeling more uplifted, more serene. And now you gently walk with your guide in and through the second door. And as you do, what you're shown are 2 or 3 things to let go of now so that you can carry more grace. It might be character defects, it might be habits, it might just be a way that you live or are or perceive the world. Whatever it is, take in what you're shown now. Maybe it's the need to be right. Maybe it's living in a perpetual state of victimhood. Whatever it is, just observe what it is. And at this moment, your guide says that he or she can take these from you now, if you choose, if you're ready to release it. And if you are, imagine yourself handing them over, like handing over a trash bag or a piece of luggage, but you're ready to stop carrying this baggage. You're ready to release this. And as you do, a beautiful light blue, star blue kind of colored light starts to come in and swirl around you in a counterclockwise fashion, helping you release these qualities that are blocking you from grace, from every aspect of your being, swirling around, clearing and cleansing, releasing everything that's currently in the way of you living in a high state of grace. And just feel this light sweeping away, releasing all that no longer serves. As you silently say to yourself, I choose to release all that no longer serves. I choose to live in a high state of grace. I choose to release all that no longer serves. I choose to live in a high state of grace. And now, with your guide still by your side, you gently exit this room, standing out now on the cliff, just overlooking the ocean, taking in the miracle that nature is, that the ocean, the waves always are coming in, and there's always a new wave there rolling behind it. This massive, life-giving water that has a whole world of its own living within it. How vast, how powerful, how beautiful. Take it in and just feel the miracle that nature truly is. Feel how grateful you are to be alive. How grateful you are to just be able to witness this miracle in this moment. And with that, you turn to your guide and thank them for their service. As you start to just feel all this beautiful healing energy, everything that you received today, really anchoring into your physical body, anchoring it into the here and now. Feel it compressing within every cell of your body as you imagine golden roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, going to the center of the earth. And you just allow yourself to start to come back into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, coming back, coming back. And we'll do a few grounding breaths together. So breathe in and release. Breathe in and release. You can join me in opening your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back. I hope that you received something. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead. Don't forget, tomorrow is my show, Soul Purpose with Jessica Joins. It's live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and all the details are in the email. So you can check it out and you can watch live. We'll be taking questions live too, so it could be a lot of fun. Anyway, much love to you all. If there's anything I can do to support you, don't hesitate to reach out. Bye-bye for now.